This is problem number 8 from the homework. We need to find the power series of G using the power series of F. And of course, you have to find the power series of F before you find the power series for G. And then once you find the power series of F, there's a hint here, differentiating or integrating to get the power series of F. So hopefully with a little observation, you see the relationship between F and G. It looks to me the derivative of F is very close to G, because what's the derivative of F? Derivative of F is going to be, so think of this as 1 over U, right? So the derivative of 1 over U will be negative 1 over U squared. So you're going to have negative 1 over 11x squared quantity squared times the derivative of inner, which is 22x. And if you compare this function with G, the only difference you see is the F prime has negative 20, negative 22, and G doesn't have that constant. So if you are able to find the power series of F prime, you simply divide its power series by negative 22, then you get the power series representation of G. So with that, we are going to find, first we need to find the power series representation of F, so that we can take the derivative to find the power series representation of F prime. To find the power series of F, we take advantage of this well-known result, the power geometric power series, right? So in this case, in order for us to take advantage of that, we want to rewrite F. So we want to rewrite F into this form, 1 minus negative 11x squared. So that now you should treat this as a box, like I said in class, right? This is the box. So this is the box. Now if you do this substitution, so we're using the method of substitution, basically this is going to be summation k from 0 to infinity. So inside the box, that's negative x squared raised to power k. And actually we are doing the substitution right here. So think of this as your box, right? And the interval of convergence, you can quickly now write down negative 11x squared. So absolute value of this guy less than 1, which means x less than 1 over square root of 11 greater than negative 1 over square root of 11. That's what it is. Of course, you might need to rationalize it as an acceptable answer. So when you find the power series representation of F prime, you simply find the derivative of F. Okay, so this is what we do. So from here, this F prime is going to be, so F prime is this guy, right? So equals, you need to find the derivative of this guy. So summation k from 0 to infinity. Okay, let's find the derivative of this guy. So it's going to be k times negative 11x squared raised to k minus 1. And of course, you do know that when k equals 0 right here, 0 right here, that which is actually will make this term 0. So usually I at this point in time, I will actually change this index to 1. K starts from 1. And this can be also explained by, you know, when you expand this summation, the first term you have is actually 1, right? The second term you have is negative 11x squared. The next term you have is negative quantity negative 11x squared and then square. So the derivative of 1 will give you 0. So that's corresponding to the term that when k was 0. So that's why I changed this k from 0 to 1 to reflect this 0 term when you find the derivative. So now this is the power series representation for f prime. So we do know g of x is equal to f prime of x divided by negative 22, right? We just mentioned that. So therefore, what is the power series representation of g? It will be negative 1 over 22 summation k from 1 to infinity k times negative 11x squared raised to power k minus 1. Okay, so this is pretty much the hints that I would like to give so that you know where it comes from. And when you eventually find the interval of convergence, make sure that you check the endpoint. Which endpoint? The endpoint of this interval. So when x is equal to 1 over square root of 11, will it converge or diverge? So check that here, plug that in here. And then when x is equal to negative 1 over square root of 11, plug that back in here to see whether it converges or diverges. For me, because I see the square right here, whether this plus or minus, they should have the same answer right here. So it's I'll let you check that. So but that's the hint how to get to the power series of g.